Nova has a prediction that Aaron is going to jail for 90 days. My guess. I don't know. What do you guys think? How long do you think Aaron will serve? I think if he shows up, he'll be okay, as long as he doesn't actually try and go on the fugitive. Aaron had a probation as well as again, as I understand it. I'm not the biggest toe guy, but I think he had a probation order for a year for domestic violence. Is that correct? Maybe somebody can illuminate me on that one. But here is the document on his, I believe this is the statement of probable cause. We'll go into that. We'll go into that first. You can place your bets in the chat. Who's going to do more time, Nick or Aaron? It's probably either of them will both get community service or something, if we're a bit honest. We'll see. Let me see. So, the state of Minnesota, County of Stearns. The complainant submits this complaint to the court and states that there is probable cause to believe defendant committed the following offenses. Count 1. Non-consensual dissemination of private, lewd images, intentionally disseminating image without consent. Oh my goodness. Charge description. The defendant, Aaron Imholt, then and there being, did wrongfully, unlawfully, feloniously, and intentionally disseminate an image of another person who is depicted in a sexy, lewd act, or whose intimate parts are exposed when the person is identifiable and without the person's consent, and did so with the intent to harass the person depicted in the image. Oh my goodness, that's a bad thing to do, Aaron. Don't share nudes. Now, the interesting thing is that Kayla's like the illustrated woman. She's covered in tattoos, so it's very easy to identify her. So it's unlikely that Aaron will be able to say, well, this could be any chick. It's very clearly the Citizen Kane titties that feature the rosebud on the net. Well, actually, I don't know if it's on the nips, but there's like a rose or something on the tits, as I understand it. I haven't seen it myself. Count number 2, non-consensual dissemination of private lewd images, intentionally disseminating images without consent. Charge description. The defendant, April. Why do I keep saying April? Jesus Christ. Aaron, then and there being, did wrongfully, unlawfully, feloniously, and intentionally disseminate the image of another person who is depicted in lewd act or is in intimate parts are exposed when the person is identifiable. So it's the same thing, but it's 2 counts. One is a felon and one is a gross misdemeanor. And let's see, the first one carries a penalty of 3 years imprisonment or a $5,000 fine, or the gross misdemeanor, 364 days in jail or a $3,000 fine. Statement of probable cause. The complaint states, on July 17th, law enforcement took a report of an unauthorized dissemination of lewd images, and it was a complaint from Kayla Raketa, fully identified in police reports, called in to report Aaron, and they sent another individual a nude photo of her without her consent on July 19th. Kayla Raketa, Nick Raketa, and April Imholt, all fully identified in police reports, met with law enforcement. And this is the big one. This is the big one that people are talking about, because Nick has made such a stink about being a snitch or going and telling people telling the teacher on people. And also, it is quite a hypocritical thing to happen, because Nick talked very early on in his streaming career about why you don't share nudes. He's sitting with Draxel and he's saying, this is why you'll never, ever see me or my wife nude. And certainly it'll never be digital, even if such pictures did exist, because they always leak out, they always get split around, and when it's on the internet, it's on forever. It's a bad thing to happen. Running to the government. Interesting move. Now, I'll be frank. I think what Aaron did was a shitty thing. I don't think you should share private images like that. But the one detail we are sure of is that it's degenerate. And it shouldn't have happened. And it's disgusting. And it's embarrassing. Kayla Raketa, I'll just call her Kayla from now on, shall I? Reported over the course of several months, her, Nick, and April, and defendant communicated via an app called Signal. Or she's sharing pictures of herself with people, but who can say? The purpose of the app was to keep things private among each other, and they all agreed nothing would be shared to others. Well, I guess that didn't work out as intended. Kayla then sent nude photographs via Signal. Why would she do that? Now, Nick has not come out and said that there is any swinging. He has not come out and said there's any throuple, despite the fact that we know that there is. Despite all of the allegations, the hedonism trips, the hand jobs in Minneapolis, the hookers, Jamaican hookers suggested by Camelot, the wife swinging confirmed by Aaron. It's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious it's real. But he's never actually said that. And maybe that is to protect his integrity with his remaining audience. Who knows? Who knows? Because it is quite a departure from what he said in the past. In April, there was a breakdown. Is that... Hey, look, when Nick has a breakdown in April, he has to go get a blue pill. But in April, there was a breakdown, and the defendant started talking negatively about Nick Recator and April on an online talk show. In May, he started talking negatively about Kayla as well. At the end of April or beginning of May, defendant started sharing details of the relationship on his talk show. This is a terrible idea. Don't share all your dirty details as a show. I know Aaron's show is about himself, but keep some stuff private for God's sake, okay? At the end of April or beginning of May, defendant started sharing details of the relationship on the talk show. On May 27th, defendant had Gino fully identified in police reports on his talk show. During this show, defendant sent Gino a text, which was a nude pic of Kayla. She did not consent to this. Now, this is an interesting idea. Now, I would take Kayla's report at her word, because if I sent a picture like that, I would not want anyone sharing it as well. But there is an element of exhibitionism in this household. You can see the photos in Locals, the Ass Wednesday, bottles between asses, posing nude in Jamaica. How really confidential are these people? Now, like I said, I would say that Kayla, the default opinion would be that she doesn't want people sharing her nudes. But she has been very forthcoming with them in the past, and it may be something to consider. It may be a factor. And it may be part of Aaron's defense. He might say, Your Honor, I had no idea that she did not want this photo. She sent it to me willingly, and she sends these out all the time. I had no idea. It might not hold up, but it is an idea that he could use. One of the elements of revenge, as this is what the charge is did Aaron do this to disrupt Kayla's life, or was he just sharing this photo with a bro? And he actually used very positive of Kayla in this interaction. Again, I still think you should never do this. This is inexcusable. But was he trying to destroy Kayla's life, or was he just trying to, that something he was proud of? That's another factor of his state of mind. Did he have the mens rea, the criminal mindset? We'll have to find out when he turns himself in, I assume. If he goes on the run, that'd be even more keno, though. Yeah, Aaron, we're looking like there might be a dearth of, not a dearth, there might be a lack of content coming up in September. So if you go on your fugitive spree, they'll be very entertaining. The secret will be he'd be hiding at Stoney's the whole time and nobody would know. April Imholt reported that these pictures shared via the Signal app. The relationship ended in April. She found out on July 12th that the defendant sent the photograph to Gino. And they both so April texted both Gino and Keanu, I think KT, is either Kelthazard, Calthalas, or Keanu Thompson. So Gino and Calthalas, or whatever. Balanor, Falashoranore, right, my boys? April texted both Gino and Keanu, fully identified in police reports, who both had confirmed that Gino received a nude photo of Kayla on May 27th, looked at the defendant's phone records, which confirmed a sent picture/video on Gino's phone on May 27th, which would have been during the time on his talk show. A review of the defendant's talk show from May 27th, it shows the defendant and Gino participating. The two of them talk about Kayla and about her tattoos. The defendant is then seen scrolling through his phone, and it looks like he is taking a screenshot and then tells Gino to look at his phone. Gino then looks at his phone and says, I like tattoos more than I thought. Defendant then responds, your boy didn't do too bad, did he? Kayla is then talked about in an explicit manner. Yes, they describe the rosebud. Gino confirmed he received a nude photograph of Kayla from defendant on May 27th during the show. He described Kayla as standing completely nude with her breasts fully exposed. He further described a tattoo under Kayla's left breast in the photograph. Later, law enforcement was able to confirm with Kayla that she did have that tattoo under her breast. Did they send another photo out? Who can say? Gino then deleted the photograph after. Keanu stated she saw the photograph on Gino's phone. Gino received a text from defendant, which was a photograph of Kayla Raketa, nude. Keanu Thompson described Kayla as standing completely nude with both breasts fully exposed. Keanu said Kayla was identified by the photograph, and she knew it was Kayla based on the photograph, confirmed, and Keanu then confirmed that Gino deleted the photograph. Law enforcement spoke to the defendant. He acknowledged the relationship and using the Signal app. It's another L for the toe today. Like this is where Aaron starts to make some mistakes. I mean, apart from sharing nudes, which is always a mistake. Law enforcement spoke to the defendant. He acknowledged the relationship and using the Signal app. Should have had a lawyer present. However, defendant stated he did not recall ever receiving or sending a nude photograph of Kayla. That's going to be a little bit hard to... This is going to be a hard argument to push, considering there's video evidence of you having it and saying it. I mean, we didn't see it on the show, right? They could have been role-playing and pretending. But the fact that that Gino confirmed this means that defense is not going to hold any water. He later said he did not want to definitely say he had never received a nude photograph, but he cannot recall being sent one. Defendant acknowledged to using Signal. This is why you don't talk to cops. Don't self-incriminate. Defendant resides in the Stearns County. Additionally, defendant's studio is in Stearns County, and he was in his studio when he sent the photograph. Defendant has an online talk show where he live streams multiple times a day. Well, it's a bit confusing if it's the morning show. Defendant has an online talk show where he live streams multiple times a day, leading up to this offense. And since the incident occurred, defendant often talks about Kayla and things between them. Yeah, he went on a bit of a simping spree, which is a bit cringe. Although I think, to be honest, that most of the things that Aaron said were more to get at Nick than anything else. The way that Aaron was talking, he was like, well, Kayla and I were in love. Kayla, she needed me. When Nick would make her angry, then he would yell at her on the bathroom floor, and then he would come to Aaron and say, you go fix her, because only Aaron can fix that woman that broken. I think a lot of the things he said, I think Aaron said when he was vulnerable, and he was trying to hurt Nick with a lot of those statements. So I don't know. You'll have to be your own judge on this one, because obviously we can't know the state of mind of Aaron. But I think that is a big contributing factor in all of this, is that there's a lot of hurt feelings going around here. And I think that this entire complaint is because of butthurt feelings, basically. They're really mad that they were degenerate and they got caught, and now they're striking back at Aaron, who's been making fun of them and, kind of riding this all the way to the bank. So why not, right? Why not? Why not use the government that you hate so much as a weapon against your enemies? It's, rules for thee, but not for me. Don't talk to the cops. Don't talk to the government. They're all shills. They're all rats. But, when I've got a problem, maybe the government's not so bad, eh? Anyway, defendant... Oh, we read that part. Let's see. Defendant often talks about Kayla and things between himself, Kayla, Nick, and April. Comments made during the live streams are concerning, especially in light of this incident. The state believes defendant will not stop and continue to harass Kayla unless conditions are sent. Given that, the state is requesting a body on bench warrant to be issued. A little fly floater. Finding a probable cause. Let's have a look from here. Let's see. So warrant executed nationwide. This warrant may be executed at any time of the day or night